Great. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming to the first Gifts and Graces of the year. We've actually been doing Gifts and Graces now for 20 years. The first Friday that isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Casey Miller. I'm the founder of Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. And what we are most excited about is you. We're so excited that you're here. It helps us to do our mission because our mission is to inspire individuals. Now, how many of you are here for inspiration? Yes! How many of you are here for James Patrick? So, thank you for that. Before we get started, I just want to say there are so many people that make this night possible, and we just want to thank them for that. One is Carmencita. Carmen, thank you so much. Carmen does all of the background. She's the one that gets the emails out to you. She's the one that gets things posted on Facebook. She's the one that makes James and I figure out what we're speaking on. And so thank you, Carmen. Thank you. And then I just want to say thank you to Sarah. Sarah has been doing Gifts and Graces for 18 years. Imagine coming to an inspirational presentation every Friday for 18 years. Wow!
I'm very inspired.
And there are so many other things that are happening. So tonight, I am so excited to introduce you to somebody that you already know, but could I just tell you a few things? So, James likes to think that he is the behind-the-scenes person. But actually, we know that one of his favorite things is to help students get ready to be up front and seen. We know that James has been a success coach because that's where his passion is, and his absolute passion is to make other people feel successful. Tonight, I am so excited for you to be able to see James in his success story, that he is front of the room. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but it was last year on this stage that James was dubbed the Tony Robbins of TV. So it was just a few years ago that we were having this brainstorm, and I always have loved firewalking. Now, how many of you have done firewalking? Woo! Yeah. And I remember saying to James, wouldn't it be fun if we had our own master firewalker in-house? And James is like, are you sure? And it was so beautiful because James had a chance to go and get the training, bring it back, and now we are in our 5th year of James. 6th! Woo! 6th year of facilitating our own firewalk. So what could I tell you about James? He's selfless. He is out there doing for others. He is a pusher. He's a coach. He is a cheerleader. And above all, he's an amazing inspirational speaker. So with that, will you absolutely stand up and imagine that you are in the presence of greatness, and his name is James Patrick. He is the Tony Robbins of Gratuities. Come on up,
Okay. Like I don't have to speak anymore. Thank you for coming tonight. So I really, really want to take a moment to take a side to focus on something Casey said at the beginning of her introduction, that I am very much a fan of our students and our graduates, because it's not only that we get to see their potential as they go through their programs, we get to see them do their internal work, right? Because we know that we can't be out there helping and supporting others until we've actually helped and supported ourselves first. And so we just finished, I teach in the life coaching program, health and wellness coaching program. We finished a cohort right before the holiday break. And one of our students wrote a very, very, very vulnerable, beautiful poem that she read in class. And when I read it, I couldn't help but ask and create the invitation for her to be willing to be heard and to be willing to be seen this evening. So I sent the email out well enough in advance so that she could have her moment of panic. And again, a lot of what we do here is for the purpose of everybody who's willing to be seen, who's willing to be heard. And so with that being said, before I do anything tonight, Erin, would you be willing to come up and share your voice?
Okay, please bear with me. This is one of my biggest fears. Thank you, James, for encouraging me. This is called New Year Revolution. I spent today in my head, lost in a bed of roses picked in a life that I never led, wondering what would have happened if I'd gone right. Life to the left darkened by what ifs in hindsight. I wrote a list of I wills and I won'ts that read like the law, and I wished for things others have that I don't. And I saw the life of my dreams if only I could. So I promised myself that this year I would. I thought of the hours I'd spent all alone, the tears that I cried while a smile I'd shown, the crippling fear that had crept in each night, the thoughts that I hide and the ones I can't fight. But while remembering all of the heartache, I realized I felt something else in its wake. I had thought I would drown from the weight of despair. Instead, that pain caused my broken heart to repair. Yes, in solitude I felt something amiss, but I'd also found moments of utter bliss. I'd cried from sadness, but had more joyful tears. And I'd been afraid, but I had conquered those fears. I took backs and long drives and pink sunset walks. I drank wine and ate chocolate and had heartfelt talks. I was left breathless by the beauty of art. I danced and I sang with all of my heart. I moved a body that's strong and lounged all day in bed. I got lost in the words of the books that I read. I played dress up and messed up and tried again. I loved and was loved by my family and friends. I felt shame but then pride when I overcame strife. I grieved over death, but I also witnessed a new life. I laughed till I cried and I cried till I healed. I felt every feeling you could possibly feel. So much is hard, but why is easy the goal when without the heart the good won't feed your soul? Because I have suffered, I'm able to see these forgotten moments are full of beauty. And I know that one day again I'll get lost, seeing only the darkness and forgetting the cost of missing the dreamt of life that's happening right here when I focus on futures built on foundations of fear. So when the earth has once again circled the sun, instead of lists of I should have and could have done, I will look back at all that I did and be endlessly grateful for the life that I lived.
It's a powerful evening, and this is what I love to see. This is why we do what we do, is to get people out of their comfort zones, into their stretch zones, and being willing to be seen, being willing to be heard, because we know, as we teach in coaching, when you're willing to speak your voice and your authentic truth, I guarantee you, Erin, right now, you don't know who really needed to hear that.
Yes.
And I promise you, even after tonight, 1, 2, maybe a few will come up to you afterwards because you said something that hit on something they needed in this moment. So thank you. Okay. So, 2025 is over. So let's take a big, deep, collective breath in. Exhale it all out. All right? So I'm going to make you a deal right now. Everything that's going on outside of there stays outside of there. For this moment, we are here, we are in community, and we are here for the good. Agreed?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I love kicking off the new year because this year is especially important. Casey finished off 2025 and taught us through, numerology and our specific life paths and what we're looking forward to. And this year is the year of the fire horse. And what is particularly unique about that is that there are 5 elements and 12 zodiacs in the Chinese zodiac calendar. And this is the first time in 60 years that the fire horse is the combination. And when you think about 2025, which from a numerology perspective, it was a 9-year, the end of a cycle, finishing, completion, be done with, right? Wipe the slate clean with what needs to be done. And it wasn't pretty with everything, was it? Okay. And we know that with change and with growth, it can be pretty messy sometimes. And that's part of the deal. The benefit of stepping into 2026 now is this, if this will work. My invitation to you is this. Everything is a win when goal is experience. So I talked to somebody before the holiday break and I checked on them to see how their year was, and their response was, well, you know, I lived my life and made a lot of stupid decisions and made a lot of mistakes. Well, you know, that's one way of looking at it. If we're looking at it from this perspective, we could say you made a lot of unique choices and had a lot of experiences. The question is, what did you learn? So we're stepping into this year because we are going into a 1 year in numerology. So we are starting not only a whole new 1 year, this is a whole new 9-year cycle of your life. So I get when people say, new year, new me, the next chapter of my life. No. This is an entirely new book in the series that is your life story. So what we're doing tonight is not only planting the seeds of what's to come for this year and the next 9 years, you're setting the foundation for that next biggest, greatest, most expressed version of yourself. And it's a version of you that hasn't existed before. So when I say 1 year, new cycle, new story, new you, it's a little bit more than that this year, right? Because we're stepping into something greater. And so when I say the new book, I'm going to throw this up on the screen real quick, only because those of you in coaching, life coaching, remember this, right? Wheel of Wellness. So I look at the Wheel of Wellness as kind of like the chapters of your life, the different areas of your life. And so this is one of the tools that we use. You have emotional well-being, physical well-being, holistic nutrition, relational well-being, spiritual well-being, physical environment, contribution to well-being, and then this is a blank spot usually to fill in your own. I did mine earlier this week, just so I could throw it into the presentation. And I do have the invitation for you tonight. I do have copies of this on the back table at the back of the room for anybody that wants to scale themselves this year. Because essentially you're going through and checking in, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it's awful, to 10 being it's the greatest with regards to your life, to really check in with yourself to see where you are at in each of these areas. Because on top of that, I am an organization time investment expert. I'm obsessed with structure, discipline, routine, right? If you're going to get things moving, as much as I love vision boards and goal lists, that's great. It means nothing to me if you do not have systems in place that are going to support your success. Okay? And so my mind works very much this way. You go from your yearly vision board, and you break that vision board down into quarterly milestones, monthly themes, weekly goals, daily tasks. We're not going to do that tonight because I see people and they hear that and they're like, right? Because anybody that's not organized or struggles with time management, this is a panic attack right now. We're not going to do that. But I want to invite you to at least take inventory of where you are in your life and take one of these tools with you this evening before you go. My focus tonight is once we know where we are. Anybody know this movie?
Yep.
Notebook! I'm using this as a metaphor, because anybody that knows this scene knows where I'm going with this right now. Okay. So you got Noah, you got Allie. Let's pretend Noah is the universe right now. And Allie is coming up here, and he is saying, what do you want? And of course she's having this moment, don't make me do this, what do you want? It's not that easy, what do you want? Isn't that the universe sometimes? Where you create this list of goals, you create this vision board, and it's the universe basically saying, okay, excuse my language, shift or get off the pot, right? What do you want? So I often invite this conversation, oftentimes to have with myself, right? Because I got to get real with myself, because I can get in my own way. Anybody else get in their own way? Yeah. And then once we have the conversations with ourselves, we also have to be mindful of the people that we surround ourselves with. And sometimes we have to ask them, what do you want? Right? So my goal tonight is really to focus on how do we maintain this momentum? Once we've set the goals, once we've created the vision, once we've stated what we want, how do we maintain that motivation? How do we maintain that momentum? How do we keep moving forward, right? Because life will still happen. Life is the process. A lot of times, especially in class, right? We come through our trainings and it is, I'm working on my process right now. It's this process, it's this process. Life is the process. And it never ends. The name of the game is to find balance and to figure out how we continue living life while processing life at the same time. We might have moments of pause every now and again, and that's okay. And then the universe is like, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Easier said than done sometimes, though. Right? So, wouldn't it be nice? I saw this meme on Instagram recently. I forget who posted it, but I loved it. Because this is essentially what we're trying to work towards, is that some people think or imagine that Zen is this calm, peaceful, serene place. And what Zen is in fact the internal world. What's going on inside that you created such peace, such grounding, such balance, that you can show up in any environment, sometimes this, and yet still thrive in this. Make sense? Okay. So, there are 7 things that we are going to do to keep us unstoppable in 2026. Unstoppable. I'm going to break these down for you. So first and foremost, self-mastery. What do you see up here? You got the heart over here, you got the brain over here, and the person in the middle being split in half. How many of you know what you want, know what you're supposed to do, and all of a sudden, we think the voices start creeping in, right? That self-sabotage, that self-doubt, the negative thoughts start creeping in, and it separates. And what we do, especially here, and with the work that we do with a lot of our programs here, is we bring these worlds together. Because these are your 3 areas of knowing, your head, your heart, and your core, right? We want to drop out of our heads, because that's where a lot of Casey has shared in the past, echoes of the past, things that no longer serve us. So we ground, we center, we do breath work. So we can drop out of our heads into our heart, into our core. Because in those moments, it's a single voice. And that single voice speaks your truth. Now the question is, do you listen? And so what self-mastery means in this respect, I'm going to explain this, don't worry, because this is like Greek to some. You have unconscious competence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. That's like Greek right now. So let me explain it to you this way. When I was growing up, I was not allowed to get my driver's license until I learned how to drive a manual transmission. Anybody? Stick shift? Anybody? Yeah? Yeah? Like I'm dating myself here, maybe, possibly. And that was my mother's rule. So what it was, the unconscious competence was, I opened the car door, all excited to get my license. What the heck is that? Okay? I don't know what I don't know. New territory. So, part 2. All right, we're going to drive down this hill. We're going to turn around. We're going to go halfway up and put the car in park. Because if you can get out of first gear on a hill, you're sitting pretty, right? So, the conscious incompetence is, I know what I'm supposed to do, but those of you that have learned, The gas and the clutch aren't quite catching, and I'm rolling backwards, and I'm stalling, and the car isn't moving. Then, after some practice, the conscious competence is I'm nervous. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I can drive it now. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, but I still have to think about it, right? I still have to think in my head, okay, I'm going fast enough, pushing the clutch, next gear. Fast enough, clutch, next gear, right? I have to think about it. After some time, we get to the unconscious competence where it's a reflex. You get in the car, you've done it for so long, turn on the car, boom, boom, boom. It's just a part of how you drive now, right? And isn't that, yes or no, a metaphor for life, right? I don't know what I don't know until I do. And even when I do, the question is, what do I do with it? When life happens, do I choose to see the blessing and the lesson? Do I choose to see the blessing? Do I choose to extract the opportunity that was meant for me in that moment? And every time you do, every time you choose to integrate that lesson, you're another step closer to your own self-mastery. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. We're saying yes to you tonight. Right? Now, self-mastery is part of the equation, and then we go through, and we know, those of you that have been in coaching with me, consistency is the name of the game. I know what I want, and I'm working on myself, and yet what do we need to do to maintain that forward momentum? Right? Because as much as I love all those vision boards and goals, what are you doing to take care of you to make sure that tank stays full and gives you the tools and the resources that you need, that are necessary to keep you moving? And so in coaching, we talk about the various stages of change. And we are in, and this is the interesting part. So 1 year cycle, 9 year cycle, 1 year, 9 year cycle. What is today? January 9th. Now, this was not actually planned. This was let's not do it the first Friday because everyone's still coming back from the holiday. Okay, let's just throw it into the second Friday, January 9th. So there is a reason you are here tonight. On top of that, the second Friday of January is often known as Quitter's Day. True story, you can actually Google this. It is known as Quitter's Day. You know who you are. So, about 64% of the population will quit their resolutions and goals by the end of this month, with the majority actually quitting today. You're here because that is not you. And I'm bringing awareness of this to you now, because now you're really going to make sure that it's not you. And when we talk about stages of change in coaching, we know that change takes time. As much as we want things to be an overnight process, that quick fix doesn't exist. Right? Anything that you've had that's really worthwhile in your life, yes or no, it took some time to get there. Right? Last year was a lot of life happening. And I couldn't help but feel a lot of times that it was, we get into this year and all of a sudden there's just this, right? Because we've been holding our breaths. And so the time we need to focus on for consistency is, we know, usually, 21, 28, 30 days to create that new habit. Good for you, January, New Year's resolutions, fantastic. And it is 90 days to create a routine, and upwards of 6 months to create a permanent lifestyle behavior change. So, that is my invitation to you, to take a step back and to make a personal contract with yourself, an agreement with yourself, that you understand that it's going to take some time to get you where you want to go. And gift yourself some grace along the way. Okay? Good?
Yes.
Okay. Now, number 3 here. Isolation elevation. How many of you have some place that you go that is your happy place? You're a place that you disconnect, technology away. I don't exist even for a moment, right? Anybody? So, Debbie, where's your place?
Oh, my rocking chair outside looking at my cactus.
Okay, rocking chair. Got it.
An isolation float tank full of Epsom salt and water, and I've done that 1,320 times at Revive View Float Spa.
Wow. There we go. Yeah, happy place, go-to place, disconnect space. Yeah.
Estrella Mountain Park.
What's that?
Estrella Mountain.
Estrella Mountain Park. Sedona. Okay.
On a hike, just being in nature.
On a hike, just being in nature. Okay. Everybody's got a space. If you don't have a space, get a space. Okay. We all need moments to disconnect, to reconnect. This is why retreats are so popular, and why people take self-care days, and why they do disappear at certain moments, because we need to be able to fill our tank. We need to be able to take time to sit in a space of reflection, to be able to do our own work, because in order for us to be there, not just for other people, for our friends, for our family, for our children, you have to have enough to share. And so it's being consistent with those self-care behaviors and being mindful of the change that it does require us to take time for ourselves. It is okay to be selfish sometimes. There is a good selfish. Okay? Sometimes, yes, it is all about you. And that's okay. So we disconnect to reconnect. A lot of times, for those of us that are on the more spiritual, energetic side of things, it is definitely a heightened space of awareness and clarity, if that's what you're seeking. And then we recognize, not that. Then we go down here, because this is called life happening. And we come through, and we go through. Da-da-da. Gotta love technology, right?
It loves you.
It does. It sure does. Okay, here we go. Back on track. Hopefully. Let's present. Ta-da!
Voila!
Or not. Ah! Okay, there we go. Now. Okay. You know, there's divine timing in all things. Here's the reality. This was perfect. Because how many times does that happen in life? Where in general, I'm on track, I'm doing something, I'm moving forward, and then what the heck was that? And sometimes that's just the universe saying, you know what? Take a moment, right? Take a break, take a breath. Right? So making sure we take time to disconnect and reconnect. And then number 4 here is obsession. The word belongs to those who are obsessed, not those that are simply interested. So a lot of times when we go through our programs here, and we have our students get to our business classes, they have gone through their SWIHA experience. They have gained all these tools and resources. They've done a lot of their personal work. And we get to the business classes, and that's one of the questions we have to ask at that point. Because in order for anybody to launch their practice, not just our students and graduates here, for you to launch anything, the universe is asking you that question. What are you obsessed with? What are the things that day in and day out fill your tank, bring you the most joy, and allow you to be the fullest, most expressed version of yourself? So before I say time management, organization, that's the word obsession, and yet I oddly find joy in cleaning up and organizing people's lives. You think you're a hot mess, and I'm like, I love it, because let's bring this together. Let's make sense out of all of this. So if I were to ask, what are you obsessed with? What are some of the things that really are just like, you know what, this is my jam? What is it?
Exposing people to healthcare that is accessible, that meets them where they are, that is not economic dependent.
Okay. Perfect. Anybody else? Obsession.
Recovery.
What's that?
Recovery.
Recovery. Beautiful.
Nutrition and exercise.
Nutrition and exercise. Good. Good. Anybody else?
Traveling.
Traveling. Beautiful. Okay.
Training my dog.
Training your dog. Perfect.
Helping people find their original blueprint and soul level.
There we go. Everybody's got a purpose. Everybody's got a calling. And here's the thing. I always remind people of this. So you've heard that quote. It's like the 2 days that you're, most important, the one you were born and the reason you find out why. Okay. Well, you're here because you're here to design and create your life purpose, your life path. And the universe also has its path for you. So I say this very lovingly and very affectionately. Everything that has happened to you has happened for you. From the best of the best to the worst of the worst, it was meant to be part of your story. And yet, you are not your story. And this is something we very much work with through coaching. Because in order to get to that space of accession and to be connected to something so much greater than yourself, we have to be willing to understand that everything that has gotten to this point has happened for you. And I get, life happens, we are all human, and there are certain experiences, maybe traumas, things that we've been through that we kind of wonder sometimes, why did I have to go through that? And yet, you are not your story. The story does not define you. You define the story. And that is always my invitation, especially to my coaches, because in order for you to get people to that next level, it's about recreating that story so that you're using everything that's come before as a tool of empowerment. Right? There's a reason why you went through the trials and tribulations that you did, because you look at other people that are going through similar things, that are suffering, that are looking for support. They all want to work with individuals that have been through something similar, and you get to be that warrior for them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we step into this, and the fifth part here, that's actually going to come up this time, ooh, I love this one, patience. I said it's going to take time, and I say patience with yourself, grace with yourself, and patience with others. Grace with others. One thing we know is that when it comes time for change, the only choices you are in control of are your own. You cannot force change to happen. And one of the things I love, Tony Robbins, what he says, it is your decisions, not your conditions, that will make or break how far you will go in this life. Because it is the value that you give to your conditions that ultimately determine your choices. And that either sticks you in a place of imprisonment, story, or empowerment. I'm using my story to move forward. Yeah? So we go here, and I often remind people, yes, please, on your journey, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, gift yourself grace, give yourself some space to breathe. And for the people in your lives, I shared this I started jumping on TikTok lately, much to my chagrin. However, this is where the world is now, it seems. And I'm learning to do videos, and one of the topics was just that. It's being able to recognize that as you work through your own stuff, as you do your own internal work, and you start to evolve into the next best version of you, do not be surprised if other people and other factors start falling out of your life, because they just don't fit the mold anymore, and that's okay. It's not to say that these are bad people or that they aren't supposed to be there. Some are. It's just not the right time because they're not ready to do their work. And those that do eventually will catch up. But that's not your responsibility. Your goal is you. Your focus is you. I talk about this when we even get into relationships. I'm not just saying relationships intimately, but friendships, coworkers. I hate that phrase, like, oh, this is my other half. Is it? That statement alone implies that you yourself are incomplete, right? You got half, you got half. And somebody will just, well, that means that we've got 100%. Okay, I hear that, and life still happens. And the reason things don't necessarily pan out quite as nicely as they could sometimes is because even though we have 100% together, when life happens, one person starts feeding off the other or vice versa, right? And there's not enough to go around. If you focus on you and you continue to fill your tank and you continue to show up for you, we get to about, say, 80 to 85%, right? We don't want 100% because that's perfect. And you still want room to grow, okay? So we get to about 85%. When you are that confident, that full, that strong, law of attraction, you begin to attract others that are also at about the same level. Because what happens then? You have almost 200% in that tank. So that when life happens, there's enough to share without feeding off of anybody or self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice doesn't look good on anybody, right? And so we want to make sure that you choose you, you prioritize you, and we make sure that you gift yourself patience. Agreed? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, seasons of life, right? Adaptability is the name of the game. Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape. Be willing to be flexible with what shows up along the way. So we create vision boards, right? Lists of goals. And we know that some of those things are going to take time. However, every now and again, the universe will kind of toss a bone your way, a little breadcrumb along the way, a compromise, if you will. Might not be exactly what you want just yet. And the universe just kind of drops something in your path to reaffirm, keep going. You're on the right path. Or here is a version of what you're working towards. Sometimes it may even be something you didn't plan on to begin with. Because you're in a space of action and you're showing up. The universe is like, I hear you, and sometimes I got something better for you. And that drops into your path. Do you see it? Do you acknowledge it? Do you recognize it? Is it yours? You get to choose. And so the adaptability piece here is being flexible with what shows up. Playing with that childlike wonderment, right? Debbie's one of my co-instructors in coaching up front here, and she is like the child's mindset embodied. Right? Constantly living in a state of play and wonderment and curiosity. What if that is how we showed up in our everyday life? With that childlike play, that wonderment, that curiosity. Right? How many of you have kids in here? Yeah? When they were little kids, right? No, don't do that. In one ear, out the other, because guess what? They're still doing it anyways. And I laugh, because I've used this example before, especially with my nieces and nephews. Growing up, they got in a lot of trouble. And it was one of those things where it's just like, don't do that. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, they're going places. Like, how they thought about that, how they came up with that, how they did that, wrong, got it, and in the back of my head, genius. What if we were to be adaptable as adults and start playing as kids and just kind of roll with what shows up? Somebody tells me no, okay, I hear that, and I'm going to do it anyway. We get in our own way. Our stories that we've told ourselves have been some of the biggest blocks along the way. And when you know that you are responsible for those stories, you are responsible for those blocks, those challenges, those choices, you're also responsible and are capable of removing those blocks and challenges and rewriting those stories. That is your mission here. What is the new story you're going to tell for the next 9 years? Please, aside from that Wheel of Wellness tool that I shared earlier, take inventory of your last 9 years. Any significant changes, any significant life happenings, anything that you really were meant to learn from, take note of it. Because it was all part of something that is going to be part of this next cycle for you. Say yes with me. Yes!
Yes!
Yes.
Oh, that was horrible. Say yes with me.
Yes!
Okay. Oh, fills my soul. Okay. Again! We need a new remote. The last one. So I'm just going to speak to it here. No, actually, you know what? No, I really want you to see this. Inner battle. Please be kind. Within this year, these next 9, and recognizing, not ignoring everything that's going on outside of these walls. Above all else, please be kind. Okay? You do not know what somebody else's story is, what their struggle is, what they are experiencing. And the beautiful part about everything that we do here is that we teach people how to hold space. Because when you hold space for somebody, you understand it's not about me. Right? When you're truly, fully present with another individual, and you truly listen to their soul speak, and you see them as a whole individual, you'd be surprised what you learn. In our personal lives, this is something that I have been very adamant about, especially in a world of technology right now. Right? We want boundaries, hardcore boundaries around technology, because people are present, and yet are they really present? How many of you have witnessed this? Maybe you are this person, or you witness this in your life, that somebody's with you, and or you're in the room, on the couch, in the same space, texting each other. What is that? What is happening? So my invitation is this, is make sure that you make plans this year with family, friends, people that you actually want to be around. And when you do get together, put the technology away. Right? Disconnect to reconnect. My second invitation is this, be willing to listen. So many times we're quick to listen to respond, right? This is the thing that drives me nuts about going to dinner with friends these days. Love them to death. And yet, I've gotten so good at active listening. All of my coaches have been phenomenal with active listening. And the part that drives me insane is when we go to dinner, I am so tuned in to what everyone is saying that we go through an entire dinner. And I leave a little traumatized because I'm sitting there in my head like none of those stories got finished. People talking over people, somebody started something, then somebody said me too, then somebody said, and I'm sitting there like, what happened? And nobody else recognizes it. And I'm like, I need to reconnect with everybody because I want to know the ending of all of those conversations. Okay? But the inner battle, please be kind. Right? Give the gift of kindness to whoever you can just because you can. Realizing that when you do, right, karma, speak the good, think the good, do the good, you are responsible for everything in your life. The definition of karma, I know Kamini for Yoga Nidra talks about this. Karma is not somebody did something bad to you. Ooh, it's going to come back to them. No. Karma is what do you put out when something happens to you. What do you put out that you want to come back to you? Let it be something good.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes we just have to take those moments of pause and realize that you will find more answers in the stillness and in the silence sometimes. And sometimes you have exactly that response. Now, as Casey had shared earlier, we do all of this because I am obsessed with what I do here and outside of here. And one of the beautiful things about Sweeha is this. So these are some of our wonderful coaching pictures, and Debbie up there with me. So we're actually doing our coaching weekend next weekend. But here's the thing. Sweeha is very unique in the sense of we believe in so much that we do that we almost challenge everybody to try something. And pretty much, with the exception of a couple, pretty much every course allows you to step in on a guest pass for the first 4 hours of anything. So if you're curious or just wondering or just want to know what something's about, get a guest pass and show up for that first 4 hours to have an experience. So that's my invitation to you, is Debbie and I are doing coaching next weekend. So if you want to come on Friday night from 6 to 10 just to see what the heck this is all about. Also because on Instagram and TikTok, everybody's a coach. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay? We will show you what coaching actually is here. Okay? We've been doing this for a long time. And then on top of it, so tonight, on January 31st, this will be our parking lot, literally. It will be torched, it will be on fire, and we will do our firework. So Debbie will also be here with me on Saturday the 31st to do a peak performance conference in here, which is all about community building, mindset building, breakthrough activities, really getting comfortable for what the heck did I just sign up for?
Yes.
Before we get to the evening, because in the evening, we rake out all those beautiful coals that have burned down. You kick off your socks and your shoes, and we are going barefoot across those coals. Okay?
Yes.
It is such a game changer when it comes to, if you can do that and still tell me that you're getting in your own way, I beg to differ. Because that really is the metaphor of life. Is there are fires and challenges that we are facing every single day. And when you get to the threshold of it's time to make a decision, shift or get off the pot, okay, where is your focus going? Are you freaking out about what's in front of you, overthinking, analysis paralysis? Or are you so focused and driven as to what's on the other side, being cheered on by like minds in your community that you cannot help but say, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. So I have these QR codes up on the screen and then a couple back on the table because it is at $199 on the website right now. It'll be $100 for anybody that wants to. It's an interest form when you scan the QR code, so you don't have to actually do anything tonight. But if you have that inkling or a thought that maybe this is something, scan the QR code, fill out the interest form, and then on Monday, I will personally reach out to those that are interested. And if you're serious about signing up, we'll get you signed up. But here's the thing. I get to say I love what I get to do. My alarm goes off in the morning. I don't wake up and say, I have to go to work. I get to go to work. I get to do what I love. And so in your life, even if it's not work, what is it that you get to say, I get to do this? I love ... Fill in the blank. Be willing to give yourself room to dream. Accept that you have a lot of potential. And if you want individuals that are willing to kick you in the butt along the way, we got plenty of them here. We're good?
Yes.
Okay. So that being said, this is my final invitation, only because I usually do the intros up here every month and then I get off the stage. So now I get to roll this into everything. After this is done, in the next few minutes, we have a very high energy experience happening this evening, because usually we have vendors and practitioners that are students and graduates from our community that will come to support all of you. They're all doing complimentary mini sessions of a variety of modalities. Obviously, tips and universal love donations are always welcomed. And like Aaron, they are all here to be seen They're stepping into something that is uncomfortable, that is their stretch zone. And so this is your opportunity. So tonight I say it's a high energy because we have a high energy focus. So we have a room of individuals doing holy Reiki. We have a room of individuals doing shamanic Reiki. We've got a room of individuals doing traditional Reiki. If you don't know what Reiki is, I'm not going to tell you. Try it. Choose. Because if you believe in divine intervention, you're going to get who you're meant to get. I also have a room with 11 different intuitive readers, from tarot to intuitive poets to cards, to you name it. And again, whoever you're meant to get is who you're meant to get. Get your message for the year. In the clinic that's right outside this room, I have 2 hypnotherapists. I have 1 individual doing sound healing bowls on body. I have another individual, Edward, you're doing tuning forks this evening. Just try it. Have an experience for yourself. Give yourself the gift of a little bit of self-care. And then move on with the rest of your weekend a little bit lighter and a little bit more grounded and a little bit more at peace, knowing that you've got the support and you've got the help if you're willing to ask for it. Good?
Yes.
Big deep breath. Exhale it all out. And you are good to go. Thank you for coming.